We're live. We're doing it. We're doing the damn thing.
What's up, man?
Not much, man. It's been a while. Been a good while.
Been a hot minute.
In more ways than one, as this video is going to say, because the inspiration for this video is I'm a bodybuilder with a YouTube channel, and when you pick a show, if you don't do a prep series, what do you do? Why do you have a YouTube? You're just being a scrub. So I finally am picking. I picked a show. I am doing the Twin Cities Open, which is somewhere south of the cities, in South Minneapolis or something, on July 10th of this year. It'll be by that point. I competed September of 2019. So by that point, it'll be almost, no, it was 2018. It'll be almost 3 years since I competed last. It's been
It's time. It's
been
time,
a
man.
long ass time. Which is,
And that's coming up pretty soon. You know,
yeah,
how many weeks is that? Do you know?
just outside. I can look at my last update to you. I think I'm just outside of 20 weeks. I think I'm at 21 weeks or something.
Oh, you're in. You're in it. You're in it. You're deep in.
Yeah, this is. I mean, tomorrow will be 21 weeks. And I know that's one of the things I guess we wanted to discuss here. I wanted to have you on specifically because me and you've been working together since like 2017. I know I came to you initially because I was doing strongman for a while, but I just felt like I was real heavy and I wasn't really that strong. So I wanted to loosen, tighten up, drop to a little different weight class, and then maybe try to build it up more lean again. We stopped working together for like a month because I was fat and I didn't want to do cardio. So then I went on my little honeymoon thing and came back and was watching a lot of just Evan Centopani videos and really just wasn't having fun with the training anymore.
You were missing the bodybuilding. You were craving the lean gains.
So yeah, I remember I asked you, hey, do you think I could be decent at bodybuilding? Like, I want to do this. Let's fucking work together. And so I'll just go through the whole journey here. The first bit in 2018 was because we knew that I wanted to be a bodybuilder, but it's not like I started training for a show. And I came to you, I think I was 305 for my first check-in with you. And then, as the body fat peeled off, to go further back, when I had trained strongman, I did competition lifts a lot, and I worked out like t-shirt muscles in terms of, well, not really, in terms of like my shoulders, my chest, and my triceps got a lot of work because I always loved overhead pressing, and like my upper back looked good specifically from like deadlifts and things like that, and farmers walks and stuff. But I never trained biceps or like really my lats. Like I didn't do a lot of rows because it was just boring. I didn't want to do it. And it's this big thing, and you're like, well, why do you need biceps? And if I had trained those things when I did strongman, I would have been a more successful strongman. So it was dumb even then. But we found out whenever we got all my body fat off, my fucking lats and my arms were just non-existent. Like I didn't have good biceps. I didn't have good lats. So that's, one thing we saw. But I think just leading into that first show, I remember it was, I think April. It was either April or June that I was like, hey, there's a show popping up. Maybe we could do that. And I guess we'll go into more detail, specifically from you for being the coach. I think one lesson I have learned to not do again is at that point, we had been dieting for so long to get to where we were that most of the cards you played to diet for a show, we had already played. So by the time we got to the show, man, I remember, Beth remembers, I was on, I think 5 ounces of turkey with no seasoning and 5 asparagus spears. It's like,
It was rough, man. We came. I don't know how much weight we had lost initially to get you down. Yeah, it was a long journey, a long, hard journey.
Yeah, that sucked. I
didn't like writing all those plans.
It was very, oh my God. But so yeah, we noticed that we knew my back and my arms needed to come up, but obviously the big thing that we saw was just, and I don't know if it's just because there were people that have weighed more than me that maybe had it a little better. I don't know if it's just because it came off too fast or what, but obviously the big thing was I had that little film of subcutaneous, just a little bit of blubber. No, I wasn't fat. I mean, I was lean as all get out, but it was just covering my abs. Like you couldn't see them, and a little bit in my lower back, but mainly it was noticeable on my midsection. So after the show, we kind of, you know, had to have that painful discussion of like, look, we either need to look at surgical or we just need to stay lean for like a long time and try to get it to tighten up to see what it's going to do. And so, you know, I think our last updates have been looking better. So we're like, well, let's see what does it. So I guess first question is, what do you think this prep? I mean, I think it's going to be massively different, but are there any specific things that you think are going to set this prep differently from what it was on the last one?
So the biggest things that are going to set this prep different from the last one. Well, like you said, that first prep, I want to say it was like an 80-pound jump from where we had initially started to, I think you might have been like 214 or something from being
90
roughly in the 300 pounds before we had really gotten into anything serious. So it was just the body needs time to like heal and recover and like recuperate and, you know, be set on a certain path for a certain time. And we had just, I think we were moving as fast as you can to lose all that, you know, as anybody really could. So it was just, we did as well as we could with the cars we had. So coming into this one, the biggest difference is we're in just a much better spot. And you already know the drill now too. So that's a big thing. Anybody out there that's done their first show, the second show, all the fucking, you know, all the jitters are gone, I guess. And you kind of know the ropes, you know, and then the hard times in prep aren't as hard anymore because you're kind of like, oh yeah, you know, it's this is supposed to suck. Yeah, this is right. I remember this from last time. Like, oh yeah, I remember about to pass out on the stair climber last time. You know, yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I'm getting in shape. You know, it is what it is. And then it's just going to be a little bit. I wouldn't say it's going to be easier to get you in shape because you're a hard. I say a hard gainer. You're a hard gainer and a hard loser. You know, you're just one of those people that has to work.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be easy by any means, but you look way better now. Like you're coming up on the conditioning that you're getting, you know, from, you know, as we were coming up into the show. So we have a lot more muscle now, which has filled out a lot of that skin, which was our biggest obstacle. So yeah, you're gonna look a ton tighter, you know, a lot denser. Just you're gonna come into your own on this show. You know what I mean?
Which is definitely the goal. I know the big thing on the last show is toward the end of the thing. I decided, you know, I wanted to do the classic and the heavyweight. You had talked to me about it before, and I was resistant. And then my wife talked to me about it, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I think from where I'm at now, I think I was 246 this morning, fasted. So I could probably, I'd say I probably have a good 20, maybe 25 pounds that can drop off of me. So I'll be, by the point that I'm show ready, I think I will likely be at what weight I would need to be. Because I think if I'm 6'1", I think I get to be 228 for classic. But I remember just for my own thing.
You'll probably be right. You'll probably be right there.
Yeah.
Somewhere right around there. Yeah. Which would be what, fucking 10, 12, 14 pounds heavier than you were last time.
It was the morning of weigh-ins. I was 214.
Yeah, so 228 would be solid. And with better conditioning would be more than 14 pounds of muscle. So
but you're
going to have better conditioning. So
yeah. So the thought process was, you know, do I want to do classic again and just have, because at that time it was like just get as much experience as you can. But I know me personally, that was the worst part was when I woke up, that when I got to the hotel for weigh-ins, I was 214. But when I woke up, I was like not quite at because we thought when my wife measured me, we thought that I was 6 foot even. So I think that was the big drama. But anyways, I just realized, I don't think I have a quote unquote classic structure. And it's not the trajectory that I see myself wanting to go on in my own career. And be perfectly honest, that was the worst feeling in the world. Like not knowing if I was going to make weight. I mean, I feel like you knew the whole time, but but I my anxiety at that point was on a different level.
Yeah, I could tell, man. I was like, because I've seen, just from my own preps, I've lost 12 pounds in like a night. Like if you need to lose it, sometimes you can lose it. Like if your body is getting ready for a show, it knows it's getting ready for a show. As crazy as that sounds, like my stress is on zero, is on nothing, because it's like at this point it's kind of like just trusting the process. You can. It's not one of those. I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, if you got some weight to lose, man, if you got a few pounds to shed off, that's nothing to worry about. So this time going into it, if you're 232 a day out and you got to be 228, who cares? Cool,
Yeah.
big deal. Not your anxiety and everything isn't gonna fucking ruin your look. It's gonna. It's easy. Handle it. Cool.
But so that's, I guess, yeah. And so leading from there into the weights, I remember another big takeaway that I learned, which would be interesting to get your perspective on, is the refeed that we did for that show. Either I think you had like said it and I had like missed it somewhere or something, but I didn't bring myself a digestive enzyme, and so we dieted me down to that on the no seasoning on my food, just completely clean. I hadn't even smelled a gram of sugar in like a couple months, and then we just overloaded me with all this great stuff, and without the enzyme, like I remember after I think the second meal, I was looking at my wife like, dude, something's up. Something does not feel right at all. And it was just to get graphic, because we want to talk about really what happens. These things is we had to end up going to get me some not milk and magnesia, but it was magnesium or something essentially to
magnesium citrate, but you got milk and magnesia, and that was just like just like lighting the flame, putting the flamethrower on a time bomb or something. So, yeah, it was yeah.
So we got the magnesium citrate, which started over, but it just I felt at that point, obviously, for like the next 2 days, I had vicious bubble guts and I did not feel right, and so that's. Did we learn anything in terms of?
Yeah, typically you don't want to mess with sodium or anything like that at all. We did, because you did have to lose weight, so that was, sodium does hold the water, in your muscle, but we did have to drop it because we did need to make weight. This time, hopefully we won't have to mess with anything. We don't want to do anything. The ideal way for anybody to come into any show is to come in changing zero things. Come in like you come in every day, like it's chest day or like it's leg day, like you did the day before, the day before, the day before. Right. You want to, like, my ideal peak week would be manipulating water, and pretty much that's it. Drying out some. That's about it. And maybe having carbon up, the day of, or having a cheat meal the night before. You know what I mean? That's right. That would be ideal. You want to mess with the least amount of variables as possible. So hopefully, with that said, this time we'll be down in weight and make weight much earlier. So we won't have any of those issues.
Yeah, because
so that's definitely.
I think with the way they have it, I'd have to look. I think I'm ending up in the super heavyweight just because I think they have it at 200 and above for this show. It might be more, but so anyways, that's a big load off of. I kind of have to just focus on coming in looking my best. I don't have to work. I don't even
exactly fuck the weight, man. Come in looking your best, and then pick the trunks out. When we go in. I was about to say when we signed up, but you already signed up. Like we'll pick the trunks out like a week before, man. We'll get the trunks a day up, morning up.
Well, they put out this super cool. It's like a Letterman's jacket with like a hoodie to it. It's like this pretty kick-ass looking jacket that you got. They have early registration until February 15th. So I was just like, well, fuck it. I got to spend the money anyways. I had to re-up my NPC card and then do this. So may as well get a cool jacket out of it.
Nice. But, they're getting it just for signing up? Cool.
Yeah, just for registering. Nice. That's why I wanted to sign up. Because I know I'm going to do it. And I had to take the time off work to do it, but I don't know. It's been a weird, aimless kind of feeling like I knew that I was staying lean for this amount of time, and eventually something was going to happen. But after a year or two, it just starts to feel like you're drifting. Like I call myself a bodybuilder and think, am I? Am I? I'm not competing. I'm not working at anything. I know there's more to the bodybuilding lifestyle. There's staying true to your meal plans and being serious in different ways. But so it gives me a much better feeling to think of doing this. And what I like about this show is I feel like I'm only going to let myself have this like once in my career, because I'm a competitive person. Like when I compete, I want to compete. Like I want to at least be competitive. I want to be in the conversation. But I can say for this show, it really is just important for me to beat what I did in 2018.
Yeah, you can blow that out of the water.
Yeah. To just be like, have abs and take the lessons I learned like with my tanning. When I got those coats for the first one, they didn't let me know that, hey man, you can take a shower, just don't scrub or anything. So when I woke up,
we might take care of your tan ourselves, man. Actually, as a matter of fact, me and Beth and Brittany and you, we'll get the tanning right. We'll have it. We'll pro-tan it. We'll just get the pro-tan going, and they can give you the glaze. They can finish you off. You don't even have to use them, man. Pro-tan doing it does great. Yeah, we'll give you the secret sauce. Yeah.
It looked good for because when I went to sleep, it just in the little like crooks like in your elbow and different spots, it like congeals in this weird crust. And so when I went in for the morning, they like did their best to do another coat, but it was just I was sweating and it was running. And the lady finally then was like, "Hey, so before a night show, take a shower. Like don't use soap and then just come back to us and get another coat." I'm like, "Why the fuck didn't you tell me this last night?"
Yeah, just take a shower.
Yeah.
Because I'll do a light coat Wednesday, take a shower, do a coat Thursday, take a shower, do a coat like Friday, and then do a coat Saturday or whatever. But like even from like Tuesday or Wednesday, I might add light coats and shower it off, because it still kind of stays on, and it'll like take the blemishes out of your skin, like it'll even things out. Like little ingrown hairs and little marks and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Birthmark type things like that. And I feel like it helps by the time it's Friday and Saturday for your tan to go on, it'll look a little bit better. But yeah, don't be afraid to wash it off. But that's another thing, having some tan on you, it just makes it so you can take things into your own hands too. But don't be afraid to go back there and ask them or tell them, especially since you pay for it. You get as many coats as you need, man.
Yeah,
like they'll cater to you. Especially the show promoters want you to feel good at the show. They want you to feel confident on stage, so that they don't mind you getting as many coats as you need and stuff too.
Which is that's a big lesson that like you said, I mean that first show is a college education of just knowing, okay, this has to be fixed, this has to be fixed, this has to be fixed, and just knowing what not to do, what to do. Like I learned, I don't know if it was just purely the enzyme or if maybe I just don't respond well to that kind of refeed that we did. I mean, it sounds like from what you're talking, like maybe like a burger and fries kind of thing the night before, but beyond
we
that,
shouldn't have done it. We should have just done boring food. We should have done rice. We should have done chicken. We should have done fish, rice, some almond butter, kept eating, repeat, rinse and repeat, my friend. A little bit more rice, repeat, salt, more rice, pictures. That's what we should have done. Yeah. But we were in such a hole. What the reason we did what we did is because we were in such a hole trying to get you down in weight that we had to fill you out in such a short amount of time. And, we kind of should have just did the best we could, with just doing a little less. So I thought you could handle more. I think I might have asked you, like, are you hungry, or like, how do you feel? Or so I should have just been like, but now I know, lessons learned for sure.
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep it chill. And so I know that about you, and I know that going forward for sure.
Which is definitely, I'm pretty stoked. That was a big deal right there. Everything as far as at the show, I remember one thing that one lesson I learned that I don't think we need to do differently at all, so much as we need to do exactly the same, was I know we're going to start probably pretty soon doing posing, just posing hard for long periods of time. I remember I used to go to that Gold with you. What I forget where it was. The Killian Road,
Killian Road, I think.
because they had that room.
Yeah.
We got that video footage, and I would
Yeah,
just
you put people to shame. I mean, your posing conditioning was really good. Yeah.
so
So that's one thing. That's how Ramy won the O. That's how Chris won last year when Breon was complete. You know, so or I say 2019 last year.
yeah. Well, whatever. We all know what you mean.
2 years ago, really.
That's how Chris did it in 2019, and that's how Chris and Terrence did it in 2020. That's how they beat Bree.
That posing, conditioning, and composure, man. You can tell who practices. So I don't want to call him out, so I won't call it. I was about to call a client out that I already called him out earlier. You know, when we were talking earlier, I won't do it again. But posing conditioning is important.
Yeah.
Underrated. It'll get your ass kicked if you don't have it nailed.
Yeah. But it was big. Another thing I wanted to, I guess, broach in here so much is, because we both watch a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of those '90s guys that talk about, if you don't need a coach, and what do you need to pay somebody all this money to tell you to eat chicken and rice and all this shit. And obviously, there's always gaps in my knowledge, but after working with you for 3 going on 4 years now, if it were a purely dietary thing, I probably know enough that I could manage. But I guess the important thing is, to me, it's always about, well, what do you need a coach for? What are you, I don't want to say using that coach for, what function does it serve? And I think for me personally, and I know that now, so it's probably not going to be any better for you on this prep, that in my daily life, I suffer from really bad anxiety. And when it comes to a show and I'm dieting, it's like paralyzing, and to the point of luckily you make yourself available, because I'll just keep messaging you like, dude, I look like shit. Like, what are we going to do? Like, what is happening?
But you're supposed to look like shit on the way to getting in shape. You're supposed to look flat while you're losing weight when you're in that severe deficit. You're not gonna look good every day, for sure. But that's everybody, man. Everybody gets like that. That's just part of prep, man. That's just part of prep. But yeah, that's exactly why that's why I need a coach. I have no clue when I'm doing a show. I have no clue anything. I just follow the plan, and I like it like that. I don't have to think about it. I like having nothing to think about. I can just do the plan, and I can know that everything is in my best interest if I just do this. I don't have to worry myself and juggle all these other different scenarios of what I should or shouldn't be doing, because I trust that he can at least that he knows what he's doing. So I'll be good to go.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And it's weird, because you think since we're friends on top of it that it'd be harder, I guess, for you to be honest, or for me to trust. Like, is he being honest, or is he just saying what I want to hear? But I guess it's just the nature of our friendship that we've always pretty well known, that we're going to kind of tell the truth, because that's been kind of one of my bigger concerns. There's not a lot of concerns going on the show, but I was, have I lost anything physique wise because I've been working out at home now for 3 or 4 months. It opened for a bit, and then I saw that it was getting, the gym I was at was kind of in disrepair. The guy didn't really clean a lot, and the people were so I was just like, fuck this.
Buy it. Take it over, man. Take it over and leave your job.
You would not. Oh my God.
Revamp it. Take your 401k. How much is in your 401k, man? Don't tell me. So figure it out. Take your 401k out. And take the gym over.
Yeah, I mean, I have to talk to him about
Make
that.
Make it 24/7. Put a few new pieces of equipment in there. Fix the water fountain. And then boom.
I swear to God, if they had a hack squat or a linear leg press, one of the two, and a decent incline press, like they've got a good incline press, like plate loaded, But the thing is like, so you're kind of like this. You got to be reaching way back here at the start of the position where you're at the most vulnerable. Like, let me press 4 plates while all in my shoulder joint and connective tissue.
Yeah.
So, but
they need one of the things where you have your feet that pushes it out to where you can grab it. You know what I mean?
that'd be a good
Like the push lever with your feet, where because that's what a couple of Metrofit has it. When you come in, it's to the left, right to the left when you walk in. It's got the chest machine where you can, it would start back here, but you can use your legs to bring it out. But then, once I grab it, I kind of let it sink my arms back.
Well, it's always I remember I think I was watching a hypertrophy coach video, and like the big thing I always try to do, and you have to be honest with yourself and not try to cheat, is like, get down to where like you can feel it in your chest, and there's going to get to a point where there's a natural resistance where you have to like cant yourself, and you feel it in your shoulders when you try to go down further. And once you're at that point, I'm like, that's the bottom of your chest press. You can work on mobility and try to get it lower if you're particularly concerned about it, but that's just where it's safe to press from. And if your elbow's out, the tendon is being stretched either way. Like if you move your shit out either way, you don't feel this stretch anymore or less. But I remember that one at Metro had that good shit with the foot. But even the one at our old work gym at VC Summer, the plant, had like, you could lift the thing up. There's a peg that you could lift up to have it start higher. And that thing was brutal. Yeah. I love it because it's not just a press. It presses and it comes in. So you get some of that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just like, and this one is like that. It just doesn't have that peg. So I'm like, God damn it. Normally if I use it heavy, I have to like get one side, then like roll over and grab the other side. And it's fine.
So what would you call it if you take the gym over, man?
It's a Snap Fit. It's like an Anytime Fitness chain. It's just called Snap Fitness up here.
Oh, okay. So if you took that gym over, you couldn't change anything to it.
I mean, I think the manager that was there for a while, I think, added some stuff, but it was like he put a tire in the back and some random stuff and all this other crap. I'm like, because they've got, I don't know. It's kind of annoying. I wouldn't want to, with the new restrictions on stuff with COVID, I wouldn't want to do a fucking leg press anyways, because I remember, if you remember, I did this video, or I put it up on my Instagram a while ago, where I was just doing a single leg press, like 5 per side. So it's like all this other stuff. Like it would technically be 10 per leg. So it's like the same as a 20 plate leg press if you do those, meathead math. Because for the leg press, I mean, you have to wipe off every plate when you get done. So if I'm doing 10 or 11 plates per side because I want to look good on a leg press, it's a fucking pain in the ass when you're unloading stuff.
It's a Wild West in South Carolina, man. It's a Wild West out here. Nobody's even wiping shit down here. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's the deal. Hey, I'm wiping. I always wipe my shit, but we haven't done masks, and people don't wipe shit. Yeah. I wipe everything before and after, but
it's a good practice to be in either way.
I forgot about that. I was like wiping plates. Ooh.
But so that's why I was like, Jesus Christ. But so it'd be good for like a hack, because I mean, you get some people like who will load the hack up to, a million plates because they're either cutting their range of motion or they just don't particularly like their knees. I don't know why, but one of those two things I think would make it a perfect gym. Looks like you're frozen on me. Looks like you're frozen on me. All right, had a little technical difficulties. You're on mute. You got to unmute yourself.
Boom.
Bam. So anyways, gyms, not even sit down. But so the big concern I had was, am I losing anything specifically? I thought maybe with my legs. But I don't know how you, I feel like I've adapted and learned how to use what I have. A lot of like single arm stuff, especially for like pull downs, because I rig myself up a pulley. So I just do, one coming down. But you see my progress pictures. I think I've, instead of stalling, I've finally started to continue to progress and put on the tissue where I needed. So.
Yeah, I don't know how you've done it, but you seem to do fine without the gym. I couldn't have done it. When I was like, out for the 2 months or 3 months, the gym was closed. I bought equipment and I still worked out here, but like maybe it was just in my head. I felt like I couldn't get the same thing going. But yeah, but you seem to have been progressing fine. Yeah.
There's a definite there's a difference, I guess, if I can go, especially when I can train at the Los Campeones, who is one of the people, or I guess the gym that's sponsoring the show. There's something to be said about that environment of people around that are. I think that's the main thing. I mean, there's they're really good equipment, but then there's also just being surrounded by people that are fucking getting it. So it makes it feel like you need to get it, or you're just being a bitch, and it drives you those extra lengths. But I don't know if I can toot my own horn about anything. I seem to be able to, especially since you showed me JBL speakers back in the day, jack myself up on some pre-workout and play something loud, and I can just inspire myself. Like I don't lose that fire. I can still train the way I need to. I don't know.
You got a goal, man. You got a mission.
Yeah.
That self-motivation, man.
Which I think the show is helping with that a lot. And a certain amount of just, I've only been bodybuilding since 2018, but I've been training since 2011. So after a while, if you're into this game for a certain amount of time and you're not learning yourself and not learning the ways that you respond to training, then it's like, what are you doing? Just figure stuff out. Eventually,
spinning your wheels.
You learn that my arms suck.
Getting beat on stage.
Yeah. And that's the big. So who do you like? If my arms suck and I want my arms to get better, like who do I go to for my advice? Like, do I go to Phil Heath and watch his arm training videos? Not really. Like Phil can look at a weight and his biceps got that great peak. Like look for somebody who has okay arms and then used to have super shit arms. That's really, I doubt, and I guess this is another place where you can come in a lot. I don't know that my back, I know I can grow to be a somewhat impressive body part. It's just because I didn't train it. From what it's looking like with my arms, because my biceps have not made the progress that my back has. And who knows, man, it might be an insertion thing. Your arms look better than mine, but it seems like we have a lot of that same kind of stuff in terms of the length of our limb and where the bicep inserts. There's just, there's going to be a ceiling on how good my arms
occlusion, man, occlusion. We just need to suck it up and do some more occlusion training. That's what I'm trying now. That's what I'm giving a try. I mean, our arms are growing. They're growing, but yeah, we don't have the genetics for those crazy peaks.
That's the big thing is you'll see. I mean, I'm sure my arms have gotten bigger, but is it going to help you if they get bigger but look like they do now, just bigger? But anyways, it is
well,
what
you don't
it
want to you don't want to zhuzh them up with some fake stuff. So you gotta just make it. You gotta make do.
Little SEO.
Yeah, you don't want to do all that. So,
but I guess it's one thing. I don't know, kind of a random tangent of a question or a side thing. See how you feel about it, because we both use pre-workouts. I use more stims than you, but I use a lot of like pump pre-workouts. Does it kind of defeat the purpose if you take a pump product, which is supposed to like dilate the vessels and get the blood going, and then do occlusion to stop the blood from coming in? Like, does that kind of negate the pre-workout, or?
No, because the occlusion, I feel like the nitric oxide effect from the, so let's say citrulline, basically gives your muscle more, I guess, capacity to hold that blood when it is occluded, is the way I like to think of it. And it's basically it's an easier process when you have pump product going in you. I don't think they have any kind of, I don't think they defeat each other or anything like that. I think they work together for sure.
That's cool. I guess layman terms, it's probably more, it's like, I guess the question would be, do bands keep blood from going into that point so then you take them off and it rushes in? Or is it?
No, it's kind of like a, what is it? I'm trying to relate it to something. Because we have like a check. It's like at my job, like we have this thing like a check valve where something can go in one way freely, but it can't go back in. It's like something that opens like this, when it tries to go like this, it shuts basically. So it has like one method of travel. Occlusion training allows the blood to get in there just fine. It just traps it in. It traps it from coming back out. But going in, I believe you actually pumping it, stretching and squeezing. When you stretch that muscle, the occlusion is a little bit less occluded than it is when you're contracted. In that stretching motion, you're getting blood in there. And then when you squeeze, you're basically locking it in. But I think it's a lot more difficult for your blood to leave that occluded area, if that makes sense. That's my theory. I could be off. But that's what I see. That's what I imagine is going on. That's what I'm pretty sure it's going on. It's like it can go in there pretty freely, but once it's in, it's more or less trapped.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely have to. I gotta try. I got the occlusion bands. I use them on my legs sometimes. I don't know. I think I tried it on the arms a couple times, and it was a little uncomfortable. So I made myself. You can convince yourself.
I'll have to do some more research on it. But when I went to Vertex, a physical therapist place around here, I mean, they do a whole bunch of research on it, and they had me try on the cuff, and the one they had was hooked to a machine that like changed pressure on the spot as I was doing the rep. And I think I had a 5-pound plate in my hand. I think I was able to get maybe 30 reps, maybe, like complete failure. I mean, it was something different, it's a different kind of training for sure.
Huh.
Yeah.
I got to work on it. So, and that's another, I guess, if I had to wrap it up wise in terms of questions moving forward, like at where I'm at now, my current level of advancement, which is still not, super advanced, is it just going to be a matter of weight loss going in, or do you anticipate some level of recomp? Because obviously, if I'm looking at it purely in terms of like what I think I have to lose pound wise, like I said, 20, 25 pounds, but is there some mechanism or some amount that you anticipate of building, because growing into the show at the same time as I'm losing body fat, that would actually make, I guess, kind of skew that number a little?
With you, since you have to do more cardio than normal people do. It sucks. I would like to say that you'd be able to grow a lot. Typically I can have everybody grow into the show a little bit. That's how I like to roll things. I'd like to say yes, but that'll be easier to answer later, because we are going to bring you down kind of hard, kind of early, like pretty much basically now. Mm-hmm. But I will say you'll keep every ounce of muscle that you already have. You definitely won't lose an ounce of muscle on the way to losing those 20 pounds to get the stage. But yeah, I would imagine I would say maybe 2 or 3 pounds we can probably add. I wouldn't 2 or 3 solid pounds of muscle tissue. If we did that, I'd be happy. That's what I would think is realistic.
That's because I've heard a lot of people say the same things that I noticed. I'm sure you've noticed. You've done a lot more shows than I have. It's easier to do because I've done one. I don't know what it is about in prep, but your workouts just seem to get more focused. And I've heard a lot of people say they actually will gain a couple just in prep, and it's not even just some weird mechanism in the body. It's something about when you're on prep,
their variables are more, or when you're in prep, your variables are finally hitting that consistency. Whether it's somebody's supplement regimen is on a certain consistency or different than when they're not in prep, or whether they're eating right, finally for the first time, or, or just better than they have been when they're, but yeah, for sure, man. That's what I think. That's what I think.
That's definitely the hope. I'll definitely, throughout this process, obviously I talk to you every day, certainly every Monday. But I'll have you on more often if you're willing to talk about how things are going, where they're going. But
I'm always down, man.
So, but all right, man.
You're gonna have to throw some. You're gonna have to throw your pictures up. You have to start throwing your pictures up. Then you can't be talking about your physique and what's going on. You might as well show them, man. You might as well share what you got going on.
Yeah, that'll be. This is. I guess this will end up. If you're watching this, one of my 30 subscribers or one one of the people that happened to watch it. This will be actually episode 2 in the series. The first one I haven't recorded it yet, but I'm gonna do a little intro and bring up those first. I think I'm a little harder on myself on those very first pictures I sent you. I mean, I was out of shape, but I also had no idea how to pose. Like I was just arm just up, like double chin. Like I mean, if I like
everybody starts there. I'm sure. I wish I had mine. I think when I switched over to a new iPhone, I lost a lot of my old like initial bodybuilding pictures from like 2016, and I'm so upset because like I have so many crazy looking throwbacks. Because the ones I do have, like from after my first show, are still kind of like they're pretty cringy. I'm like, oh, like what is going on? But I'm like, yeah, we all start somewhere. But it's cool seeing. It's cool as a coach because you see people that look crazy, like you used to look crazy, and you're like, man, that's a champion right there. Even when they can't see it, because you remember when you looked, silly as hell, and where you are now, you're like, oh yeah, you can look at stuff and see it for what it can be. You start seeing, you look at potential rather than just face value.
Yeah. Well, I definitely, I know I have those somewhere, so they're not stored purely on my phone, so, and it's obviously a little bit more recent, so I should have them forever, and I'll throw them up on this next one. I'll throw those up and whatever random pictures I have through the prep. Some of them are kind of gross because I remember, it was a random thing to remember, but that's just kind of memory I have. It was like a few months in, where I remember I sent you my check-ins where you were finally like, all right, man, you got to shave that body hair. Like,
oh, yeah, man. I'll be like, all right, time to shave, man. Okay, we got to get some new trunks at some point, man. You gonna get some trunks? What are we doing? What we got going on here? Yeah. So, but yeah. Oh, so you probably do need to get classic trunks now because when you did classic, it was the old trunks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Chula Styles, code Chris 10. It's my middle name, Chris 10. Not Corey, not Curtis. I don't know why she got my middle name, but hey, it's Chris 10.
It feels
help your boy out.
It's subtle, man. Every year the trunks are getting smaller and the weight cap is going up. You guys are just gonna be open here.
Yeah. The trunks. She's got the so there's the onyx, you got the regular onyx, you got the glittery, and then you got the G-string, which is basically the open style. So yeah, you'll see me sporting those in the New York Pro.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I want those glittery ones, man. Like Luke used to have all these great like satin red with this like glittery finish from this. I think it's like Iron Monkey or something. This company over in the UK. I've been looking for like an American company that does that because I've gone to Skinswear for all of mine, but it's all like, I don't know. If there is like a glitter thing, it's just black or just this monochrome thing. Like, I don't know.
I forgot who I was watching. It might have been Hollingshead or Akeem that had different pair for like the prejudging in the finals, and they were like, if you were to just glance at them, which is what we mostly do, obviously, they just look like black, but like when he was just holding them like this, they were like black and they had like red, green, and like blue specks in them and some other shit. I was like, okay, that was actually pretty cool. No homo.
Yeah, it's I don't know, because those ones that I had, I remember I still have them, but like those green ones, because it was after the show that when I started putting the weight back on, and I washed them, but I couldn't get a lot of that fake tan off of them. And they just look raggedy because I remember you were like, it's time to buy some new trunks. Because I had gotten bigger, and I think we spent, I was leaner, but I
had to buy some new ones. I knew you had to buy some new ones.
Yeah, they don't last forever, and they get kind of gross, especially after a show. I think
that's gonna be another rant I have. That's gonna be another rant I have later about about my women clients that send me the same pair of panties in all their check-ins. I know you got to be changing the pants. So, but I'll save that. I'll save that for another day.
Save that for another Coach's Corner episode.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. As per usual, I would totally appreciate you coming on. I got to hit shoulders and do more of that cardio that I'm going to be doing a shitload of over the next 21 weeks.
Hey, man, hopefully we can knock out a bunch now and cut it back as we get closer to the show and preserve / add some muscle like we discussed.
That's, I think, one of the main things I'm loving about having this recumbent bike to do my cardio on is the same intensity, but it's my fucking legs are pumped when I get done. Like I think it's actually helping my legs because that for some reason I've always had like my shoulder area and my legs lean out super fast, and then my midsection takes for fucking ever, like my little fucking spare tire. But so like my legs are already, I posted that too close up thing on Instagram. Like I already get separation like in the right lighting, but I think the bike is helping with that. So I'm pretty stoked.
Oh yeah.
But all right, man. Catch you here in I don't know, whenever the next time we do this. But I mean, I'll talk to you tomorrow, obviously.
Yep. Just give me a shout, sir.
Yeah, man.
Later.
Later.